Welcome back to First on Film. I'm Gal Balaban, here with two very special guests, Hiro Koda and Jahnel Curfman. They are two stunt coordinators and performers who have worked together on films and series like Bird Box, Cobra Kai, Ozark, The Outsider, Big Little Lies, and DTF St. Louis. Hiro has also worked on countless films including Blade, The Mummy Returns, and Jason Bourne, while Jahnel has also performed stunts on films like Avatar, Jumanji, and the recent Avengers and Spider-Man films like Endgame and No Way Home. First of all, thank you guys so much for joining me. We are here today talking about your Emmy-nominated work on the stunts of the final season, season 5, of a little show called Stranger Things. So thank you again. I'm really excited for you guys to join me.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
There's definitely a difference between, and you guys have worked on like a variety of projects where the stunts team is very big, and others where perhaps the stunts are a little more invisible, like it's a suburban drama. But do you think having that balance of like the scale of the stunts and projects is what excites you to like take on that variety?
Yes. It's nice because you get a show like Stranger Things that does have very large, movie level action in it. And it is nice to have, as you described, those suburban dramas that are a little smaller in scale to supplement all of that. I mean, it is fun going from big action project to big action project, but it is also really nice to have a couple of those projects that are smaller in scale just to supplement in between and take a break, give the mind and all the creative juices a little bit of a breather before you're on to the next big thing.
I don't mind those breaks in between the big ones, just so then you don't have to. It's like she said with our creative minds. It's when you have a smaller project, less people to deal with. It just gives you like a little breather to sort of relax, but still have fun with a small show. I mean, the smaller shows are just as difficult as the big shows sometimes as well.
Yeah, definitely. And Janelle, I just want to tell our viewers a bit about your incredible portfolio. You've doubled for actors on massive projects like Nicole Kidman in Big Little Lies or Peyton List in Cobra Kai, and now Karen Gillan going on a third Jumanji film
Yeah.
together.
I doubled Sandra Bullock in Bird Box, and I've
Right,
worked
yeah.
with Angie Harmon in several projects. I've been very blessed to get to work with some really incredible actresses.
What are some of your favorite films that you've worked on? Just like how many times you've watched the final product back as a viewer and as a fan as well.
Me, performance-wise, as a stunt performer, Rush Hour 3 was probably one of my all-time favorite films that I ever got to work on. Just Jackie Chan's one of my heroes, and I got to do a bunch of stuff with him, and I got to actually do a fight with him, which was probably one of my all-time favorite.
That was really cool.
And I played myself. I wasn't doubling anybody, so it was
Wow.
just me fighting with him, and that was such a cool experience for me.
I'm sure that's like the experience you just treasure for life. This is
Oh, I
fighting
will
with
forever.
Jackie Chan,
I'll
and
never
it's
forget.
and
Yeah.
they get to see it's you.
And then as far as work-wise, I mean, there's so many projects, and every project has a special place in my heart because they all have different things that have just made it special for me and the families and friends that I have collected over the years over these shows. But Stranger Things has been one of the biggest and most special shows that we've been a part of for sure.
Well, before we get into the final season of Stranger Things, I want to like ask a bit of a career retrospective question. Do you guys remember going into any project and there was a stunt that was like presented to you guys in the creative vision that you thought seemed impossible, and now you look back like, wow, we managed to pull that off?
It would have to be the mid-season finale of this past season of Stranger Things, the
Okay,
whole sequence that
okay.
we did in the Mac Z and leading
Yeah.
into our work on Stranger Things season 5. That was one that we got this beautiful animatic of how they wanted it to look, but it was impossible to actually shoot. So we went in with a stunt team and just started workshopping a bunch of different stuff with performers and what was going to work. And Hito started to previs how we were going to actually shoot this thing in a way that was possible.
Yeah, that's very cool. So we're talking the end of season 5, episode 4, which has like a very big battle. And I think just from a creative and a scale standpoint, with, it was such a discovery for audiences on Netflix in the first season. And back then it was a lot more like, it was very thrilling and wonderful, but a lot of the threats were in the shadows. And now there's so much more of it and a lot bigger action sequences. How do you guys feel like the show has evolved across the seasons that you've worked on?
I mean, it every season got bigger and bigger. I started the show in season 3. I didn't do the first 2 seasons, but season 3 was a big season. Then season 4 became even bigger. We traveled out of the country, shot in Lithuania for Russia, and in New Mexico as well. We were spread out across different areas, and so that season was very big. And then I remember the Duffer Brothers coming to me before season 5 started, and they're like, "Hey, don't worry, season 5 is about to start. We're going to have you back, but there's not really a whole lot of stunts in there." But I got the first script, and it was massive. I mean, every script was massive. It was like shooting 8 feature films.
And I know Millie Bobby Brown has spoken a lot about doing her own stunts and wanting to throw herself into every performance, however action heavy it may be. She just sees as part of the job. Are there other actors on the series who surprised you with how down they were to just throw themselves into the physicality of the hardest stunts?
Pretty much everybody.
Yeah, everybody was willing to jump in there.
Yeah. David Harbour's great. He loves getting in and doing a lot of his own fights. And also, he likes to be involved in the creative process of...
Oh, okay.
Especially at the beginning, I think when you first came in, it was just kind of feeling you out of like, okay, how is this really going to go? But Joe Keery did a lot of driving. He was able to get into that BMW and whip it around. And Natalia with the shotgun. I mean, I feel like most of the cast was pretty willing to get in and just get their hands dirty, get a few bumps and bruises. There was maybe only 1 or 2 that definitely did not want to have any part of it.
That's wonderful. Yeah. And I think like one of the things that I think keeps the audience coming back for more and just wanting to connect is how much the characters resonate because of that cast of characters. Whether it's coming in as outsiders and triumphing as heroes at the end of each season. I think there's so much that like each of us personally connect to. Is there a character or even a certain scene or interaction throughout any of the seasons of Stranger Things where you were like, wow, I see a bit of myself in them?
Ooh.
I mean, as a mother, Joyce, of course. Like, if anything had happened to one of my children that happened to Will Byers, I would have definitely come at somebody with an axe.
It was really, I couldn't have imagined any character who would earn that moment more than her.
Oh,
yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Another thing I want to touch on is like the final battle itself has so many moving parts. As if you touched a bit on season 4 and like the globe trotting part of it, because that is like, there were like so many different things that had to happen in these different battles across the globe for them to defeat Vecna. And in this one, there's like gravity being manipulated, then this climb that has to happen. There's a helicopter set piece. I'd love to know, like, how does that gravity impact? How does that gravity change sort of play into your work?
That scene originally was much larger than it ended up being in the end, but coming up with that and choreographing it and just being creatively trying to figure out. We got to work in the set itself as it was almost complete, so being able to sort of figure out how we were going to manipulate each of the characters and they were going to fly and put the choreography together and the action together was sort of the one step that we went into. And then the next step was also being able to incorporate this thing is moving and the other kids, all the other teens are down there battling it from the ground, so it's making a lot of moves, and everything that we were doing inside the fight had to also be moving and getting thrown around and making that still happen during the fight. So it was a huge collective creative challenge to sort of bring that all together with everybody and make that work the way it did. And I think in the end it all came together really well. I thought it looked amazing.
How does like makeup and motion capture play into your work? knowing that like then Vecna's movements are being enhanced and so on. Like, how does that, if at all, play into your work?
Vecna actors, we had Jamie Campbell there to be able to be, and we had another person there that was doing things for him as well. But mostly Jamie did most of his stuff. So having a physical person there was very helpful because we could make our action happen around him. Like what was more challenging was like in the Max Z where you're dealing with Demogorgons. There was 3 of them that were loose in the inside of that, and there is not that creature there. We had guys in gray suits with the tennis ball that reached 10 feet high to be, represent who and where they were and kind of give everybody the eye lines. And we had like such a huge amount of kills in that thing. There was 52 people killed in that Max Z. So it was such a huge choreography and dance and just a collaboration of everybody. But being able to work with the VFX team and making sure that we're doing everything that's gonna to work with them. That was the creative side of that scene that I really enjoyed, just because we're manipulating these people as if a 10-foot creature was throwing or hitting or slicing that person. So we were able to bring that our creative minds together and make that happen without that monster actually being there. And then as far as the kills go, going with makeup and things like that, it's like having to deal with every single person that died. Each person had to go then and go get made up with their wounds or blood and all that stuff and lay them down. So I mean, we deal with a lot with them together.
Speaking of movies that were pioneering in VFX, are you guys big Terminator fans? Was working with Linda Hamilton a big moment for you guys?
Oh
Yes,
yes.
absolutely. That for me, it was a bit of a starstruck moment as soon when she
Uh-huh.
walked on set for her first fight rehearsal. It was like, oh my gosh,
She is such a lovely person, and yeah,
she was very
it
sweet.
was awesome to when we found out that she was going to be on the show. It was like, yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, she's incredible. And I'd love to know, was there a stunt in season 5 that you guys had maybe only one go at, and when you pulled it off, it was like everything had to line up?
Big fire burn
Yeah,
that we did when Vecna comes out and throws the fire. It was huge, and we did, of course, did it at the end of the night. So we're fighting the sun coming up. We're trying to like make sure it stays dark. Our guy in the middle went up. He got lit, and then he every all the four or five
Spy Soldiers.
five soldiers around him were um doused with the fuel so that they would then get lit from him. So they had to be just close enough to where they didn't get lit when he lit, but they had to be close enough to where they would light before they got pulled.
We also
So
had some little
poppers.
poppers to help ignite all of them because the guy in the middle was a flamethrowing guy, so he had a tank on his back, and he was meant to get lit up first, and then he explodes, and that's what catches everybody on fire.
So it was very intricate, a lot of movie. Anytime you're working with fire, it just adds a whole nother level of safety protocol, not just to stunts, to everything, special effects and wardrobe. And I mean, you've got background, it's so many different factors happening. We had a wonderful fire safety team. Um, and so we knew we only had one go at it. We did it. Two of the guys didn't light.
Their popper
So
didn't really
their
go.
popper didn't go. They didn't light. So they got pulled off and they're like, can we do one more? And I was like, how long to reset? And they were like, 15 minutes. I was like, all right.
Which was amazing. They got them
Oh,
reset and ready to go again in 15 minutes, which was
When they
unbelievable.
say
yeah.
15 minutes, they mean 15 minutes.
Yeah. Eric Linden, who headed all of our fire safety, did an amazing job, was able to get it all set up. Granted, it's supposed to happen when it's dark. We're doing it like as the sun's coming up. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'll have to fix that in visual effects because it's definitely 6:30 in the morning and the sun is up. So that was one that luckily we were able to get another go at it. which is the one they ended up using, but that one was sort of a bonus because
we got to go bigger too. We saw what it was a good test to do the first one, so we got to go with the second one and said, let's go bigger. So the flames got bigger, the poppers were bigger. So then when everybody exploded and they all flew back on wires on fire, it was just this giant, massive fireball of people flying. It was awesome.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
But I don't think there was anything that we knew we only had one of.
No, that was only because of time constraints on us, and we only really had one go at it. But everything else we had planned out enough, and the time for us to shoot was going to be we would have been able to do it multiple times. It wasn't like a stress of like we're only going to get one go at this. Oh, actually, no, I take that back. So we did in episode 1 we crashed all those vehicles. We crashed the 2 Humvees and the 2 big trucks. They all smashed each other. That was a one and done. So we could not do that multiple times. We didn't have that many vehicles. So.
You can't you can't undent them on the spot.
No, and we didn't have that many vehicles to wreck. So we had to set that and plan that very precisely to make that happen, because we're getting one shot at this, guys. But we were able to pull that one off. That was good.
With a show like Stranger Things, I mean, the audience, as we said, is so passionate. And I really feel like with a show like this, a story is only as rewarding as the end. They really went big and emotional. So I'd love to know, what's your favorite part with Stranger Things, of getting to watch it once the seasons come out and getting to see your work, and then also interact with those who are watching it as fans and appreciating your work on it?
Everything that we've done, I mean, and most proud of would be the Mac Z. It was one of the biggest sequences that we got to do, and to be able to pull that off in the way that we did pull it off, and to see the final product of it all was incredible. And then to see the behind the scenes, just to know, because we were so busy and in it and doing it and shooting it, and every single person was grinding in that set, all departments. But to be able to go back and see all that we went through, all departments, it just was so satisfying to see the final product of that and how that turned out. One of the special scenes that has no action in it at all, which was really cool, was the last scene that the boys did in the basement, playing Dungeons and Dragons at the end. It was a really cool, we were all done. We finished all of our stuff for the night, and we got to come up there and we got to see their final scene that they were doing, which was really special to see. And we all got to be there when they blew this whole balloon for the last scene and the last kind of final wrap of the show. So that was kind of special to be there for that.
I'm sure, being there on the final day of the final season, it's the final scene of the whole show. That must be really, really special.
It was really emotional and really special, and all the cast, each one, as they were wrapping out, they each spoke. The Duffers spoke, and it was really heartwarming to hear everybody speak.
So I'd love to also know from you guys, what are some movies and shows that you've checked out recently that made you go, wow? Whether it was something stunt heavy that really stuck out to you as something really impressive, or just something that you've enjoyed.
TV, we watch a lot of TV.
We do watch,
which is good.
One show that I've really been into recently is Lioness.
Oh, okay.
I really love Taylor Sheridan and his storytelling, and I just love strong female characters, and it's also cool. I worked with Zoe Saldana on Avatar, and of course Nicole Kidman on Big Little Lies and Holland, and I just really, and the action is really good. It's really well done in it.
I recently watched a really great show called DTF St. Louis. Don't know if you've heard of it. That was the last show I watched in full.
It's so weird, but it's so good. I was watching.
No, it's great. I really thought it was so great.
Good. And I told I was like, David Harbour hands down deserves an Emmy nomination for this. And then when he did get nominated, I was like, yes, okay. I wasn't the only one who saw it. He was so good in that.
He was so good, and to be on set and see him playing that character, different from being, his character on Stranger Things, it was completely different, and to be there with him and that character was just, and I did Ozark with Jason, and so being back with him on that show was amazing, and getting to work with Stephen Conrad, the director, was the first time I've worked with him. It was amazing. That crew was amazing. Yeah, that show it's a different show for sure, but it grabbed you pretty quick. It grabbed us quick, and we watched it all the way through. It was
really good.
It was
Yeah,
really
and
good.
Harbor is so good. There's
He
something
is so
even
good.
youthful to his character, beneath all the insecurity. I thought it was really great, and just the more it gets weird and even twisted, it just is still asking you to just empathize with everyone, and I thought that made it really special too.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
really
yeah.
thought it was a really good show,
That's really well done.
and
Linda Cardellini is so good too, right?
so great. Yeah,
Her just like passive aggressive. Could you speak louder?
yeah. Can you speak up? Yeah. What was different this time about working with Jason and David on DTF St. Louis?
David was a different character. Different. It was different. It was just completely different. I mean, David was David. Him and I have a great relationship together. And to be able to go over and do that show with him. But I mean, Jason was also on there, so being able to reconnect with him because I hadn't seen him in quite a while, so it was nice to reconnect with him. They're great humans, lovely to work with. That crew on that show there was a lot of Stranger Things crew on that show, so it was like family already over there too.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
I'd also love to know what's next for you guys. Is there anything that you can tease to our viewers and listeners about what you've got working on next?
We're doing the new Scooby-Doo Origins live action show for Netflix.
Awesome. Very, very exciting.
We're just
well,
about
thank-
to wrap that up, but it's been awesome.
And Jumanji 3 comes out in December.
Yes.
So
Yeah, Jumanji Open World. I was going to say we just got the trailer, and I'm so excited to see your work on that. And it's going to be funny and exciting as always, as we've come to expect from the previous two. So that comes out in December, and I'm really excited to see that. So, as I've said, if you have not caught up on Stranger Things, definitely watch the final season now on Netflix. And you can also check out Hiro and Jahnel's work on DTF St. Louis on HBO. And stay tuned, of course, for Jumanji Open World and the upcoming Scooby-Doo series. Hiro and Jahnel, thank you so much for all the amazing insights on your work in the stunts world, which is something that we don't always hear about. It took them way too long to finally honor at the Oscars, but it's always so amazing to hear about how it all actually comes to life and goes down and feels so seamless for its viewers in the end.
yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
for
you
having
so
us.
much.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
Thank you so much for joining me.